Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परम ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोरधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। नमः शिवाय गुरवे नमस्ते कोणवादिने निराकार पदं याति नित्यं तत्र परायणः। तत्तित्तकदर्दं तत्थं कडतक दिग्गिण्ण तुम ता ति गिण्ण तुम ता धि गिण्ण तुम तकदित्तकदर्दं तत्थं कडतक दिग्गिण्ण तुम ता धि गिण्ण तुम ता धि गिण्ण तुम तकदा धि गिण्ण तुम तकददित्तकदर्दं तत्थं कडतक दिग्गिण्ण तुम ता धि गिण्ण तुम ता धि गिण्ण तुम तकदा धि गिण्ण तुम तकदिगदा धि गिण्ण तुम तति गिड्ड तुम तकदा दिग्गिण्ण तुम तकदिगदा दिग्गिण्ण तुम ता दिम्ना तत दिम दिम्ना कडतक दिम दिम्ना dim dim na ta dim na ta ta dim dim nam kedatam dim dim nam dim nam dim dim ta ta dim dim na kedataka dim ta terdhane kedataka dim dim na ta ta dim dim na kedataka dim ta kedataka dim na ta ta dim dim na kedataka dim ta terdhane kedataka ta terdhane kedataka dim gudi dim ta terdhane kedataka dim gudi dim ta terdhane kedataka dim gudi dim takading gudi dadim takading gudi dadim takading gudi dadim dindadim 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 dindadim. Wonderful opportunity for inviting me here, and then I once again welcome you all to the second session. Distinguished speakers, professors, artists, Sangeeta Rasikas, Sangeeta Vidwans and students. Today I am here to present a brief lecture demonstration on an art form that is really close to my heart, that is KONNAKKOL. So the topic says KONNAKKOL, Indian classical vocal percussive tradition. So let me start with the first question, basic question, 1 mark question. What is KONNAKKOL? KONNAKKOL is a language just like Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, German, Spanish, etc. It is a rhythmic language with a profound meaning to every syllable that's been pronounced. In simple, I can call it as the classical drum language of South India. KONNAKKOL is the authentic pedagogical system of rhythm. It is the best teaching method, especially when you're learning rhythm. And KONNAKKOL is a standalone art form today. And KONNAKKOL is the percussion from the past, and it is the rhythm of the future. So how do we define KONNAKKOL? So whenever I hear people discuss KONNAKKOL, what is KONNAKKOL? So, but there is actually a definition. KONNAKKOL is an art of reciting rhythmic syllables associated with Karnataka Shastriya Sangeeta Paddhati. I have to underline the word art. To be more precise, KONNAKKOL is an Indian traditional classical ancient art form of reciting or orally presenting or orally articulating rhythmic syllables associated with Karnataka Shastriya Sangeeta Paddhati. I don't want to call it as Carnatic music, Karnataka Shastriya Sangeeta Paddhati. It is an intense language of aesthetics, phonetics, dynamics, and of course, mathematics. Padma Bhushan Professor P. Sambamurthy in his book A Dictionary of South Indian Music and Musicians Volume 2 says, Konnakkol or Konugol is the name given to the art of reciting jatis or rhythmic solfa syllables in a pleasant manner. We have to underline that. That's not Konnakkol. Like how you need to have a good sharira for a vocalist, you need to have a sharira for Konnakkol as well. And reciting syllables in conformity to a chosen tala. There's as much scope for extemporization reciting jatis as singing Kalpana Swaras. In 1983, Padma Bhushan Dr. Sripada Pinakapani Garu, in his presidential address during 57th Madras Music Conference, quoted that Konnakkol is the very characteristic symbol of our South Indian culture. Now, before I go on to Konnakkol, let us discuss a few terminologies. I hope you all know swaras, sapta swara, sarigama padani, sarigama padani, sasani dapa magarisa. We also call it as swarakshara, which you use to communicate raga or a melody. Similarly, ta, dhi, tum, nam, ta, dhi, ta, dhi, gidna, tum, taka, ta, dhi, gidna, tum, kita, taka, dhimi. So these are all shabdaksharam, which you use to communicate rhythm. So there is a definite term associated with shabdaksharam, which is sol. Sol, shul, chul. So there are different interpretations of the same thing. Sollu means one rhythmic syllable or one akshara rhythmic syllable or percussive syllable. Sollu is a desi term. You can find this sollu in Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, in all languages. And then a group of such sollu form solkattu. I'm sure you've heard of this term. Solkattu, cholkattu. Kattu means bunch. So a group of such syllables put together, which also conveys a meaning. For example, I have A to Z letters. I can say Y, L, M, N. That is a word. Is that a word? No. It has no meaning. Similarly, I have tadiginatom, takatadiginatoma, kitataka, jhunu, dhim, lam, etc. I can say jamta guri. Idu or solkattu. Idu oka solkattu. No, it doesn't work like that. It has to have an aesthetical meaning and then usage in our traditional compositions or texts. And then a creative arrangement or logical, mathematical arrangement of such solkattus form something called as a jati. So if I have to give a simple explanation, alphabet, word, sentence could be directly translated as sollu, solkattu and jati. And an artistic representation or recitation of these solkattus or jatis is what we call Konnakkol. Let me give you a simple example of a solkattu, a balapatam. Ta, kitta, kitta, takka, dhikku, tarri, kitta, takka, dhi, kitta, kitta, takka, dhikku, tarri, kitta, takka, tum, kitta, kitta, tak, dhikku, tarri, kitta, takka, nam, kitta, kitta, takka, dhikku, tarri, kitta, takka. A combination of popular solkattus, tak, kitta, kitta, taka, dhik, kitta, kitta, taka, tom, kitta, kitta, taka, nam, kitta, kitta, taka. And then if I put it into a traditional composition in Gopuchayati, tak kita kita taka dhikuta dikita taka dhik kita kita taka dhikuta dikita taka tom kita kita taka dhikuta dikita taka nam kita kita taka dhikuta dikita tak kita taka tadikita taka dhik kita taka tadikita taka tom kita taka tadikita taka nam kita taka tadikita taka tak kita kita taka dhik kita tom kita kita taka nam kita kita taka tak kita taka dhik kita taka tom kita taka nam kita taka tak kita dhik kita tom kita nam kita dhit tom nam ta. It starts from 16, comes back to 12 aksharas, 8 aksharas, 6, 4 and 2. And we have innumerous examples like this in our tradition. Okay, how do we spell Konnakkol? I have many people in my own city, in my own country, pronouncing Konnakkol the way they want. Konnakkol, Konnakkol, whatever they want. Manasaku vachinattu cheptarandi. The correct way to recite it or pronounce the term is Konnakkol. Can we all say this? Konnakkol. Konnakkol. If I have to write it in Kannada, kako, tvako, nag, navoto, kako, tva, dirgha and l. Konnakkol. So how old is this art form, Konnakkol? Konnakkol, according to modern historians, is a 5,000-year-old tradition. If you check the dates of Rig Veda, maybe between 5,000 to 7,000. I don't remember what I ate yesterday, so 5,000 is something. But if you go to Vedic scholars, they'll again put one more zero and they'll say it is 10,000 years old tradition. So Konnakkol is the oldest rhythmic tradition known to us. I term it as the mother of all percussive languages, instruments and traditions. Like how we say bop of Bollywood, right? I don't want to say bop of rhythm, I will say mother. It's like the umbrella thought. KONNAKKOL is complex, it is intricate, it is vast, it is an advanced rhythmic system under the sun, which is unmatched, which is unrivaled, and which is unparalleled in its depth, stature, and range. Having said that it is really complex art form, it is the simplest rhythmic language that anybody can learn. You need not be a musician, you need not be a dancer, you need not come with expertise and experience with classical music, you did not have a read Shastras, you need not be a Brahmin, you need not be any other, you need not be well read, you need not to have MAs, PhDs for this. And if you have the ability to talk, you can learn KONNAKKOL. It's as simple as that. Learning KONNAKKOL has no gender restrictions, it has no age restrictions. In fact, learning KONNAKKOL is beyond the man-made boundaries of language, land, region, religion, culture, caste, creed. Anybody can learn KONNAKKOL, but anybody cannot become a KONNAKKOL artist. There are definite set of rules and special qualities that you need to imbibe when you want to call yourself as a KONNAKKOL artist. We'll study that. A short clipping of one of the greatest Mridangam exponents, living legend, Padma Shri Dr. T.K. Murthy sir reciting KONNAKKOL. He is celebrating his 100th birthday today, this year I mean, and I have never seen any performing musician who is so young, energetic at the age of 100. So let me play a short clipping of Dr. T.K. Murthy sir.
Din na din targada tak din din
It's on loop.
tak targada din na ketita kajin.
Yes. At different time periods, various technical names have been given for this wonderful art form. Tatahkara, Kanthatala, Vakkarana, Hastapatha, Mukhavadya, etc. However, the most popular name, KONNAKKOL, is just a colloquial term. As of now, there is no reference available for this term KONNAKKOL. If you ask me the source for the word KONNAKKOL, I'm sorry, I don't have it. But however, there are great music enthusiasts who give their own meaning. They say KONNAKKOL has come from Tamil word Konaikkirathu. Konaikkirathu means stammering. I'm sure KONNAKKOL is not stammering. Internet cures stammering. And they also say it's come from Telugu word Konipittu. Konipittu means to say or to recite. I think these are all futile imagination. And also, Kol, there's a lot of reference for the term Kol. Kol also means to rule, ruler, Kol Kondran. We have a lot of reference to the term Kol Kondran. But however, KONNAKKOL is a term that has come post Tanjore Quartet, is what I believe. At various time periods, prophetic people like Bharata Muni, Matanga Muni, Narada Muni, Pallava King, Raja Mahendravarma I, Arunagirinathar, Mannargudi Pakriya Pillai have been instrumental in resurrecting this art form, and then it's all of their efforts that we are enjoying KONNAKKOL today. It was legendary Natuvanar, Thavil and Mridangam Vidwan, Mannargudi Pakriya Pillai who brought KONNAKKOL to the forefront and as a standalone art form. Today, KONNAKKOL is every musician's need or dancer's necessity. It is an essential tool for every percussionist to learn or to teach their tradition instrument. KONNAKKOL is world's most desired rhythmic system. It is immensely popular art form which equally appeals musicians, dancers, artists, composers, children and common man. And KONNAKKOL today has a massive fan following across the world. If you don't know about this, just go to YouTube and just type KONNAKKOL and you will see zillion videos on that. And the first video is mine. No, just kidding. Let me play you other two clippings of great musicians from Trichy. Trichy Thai Manavan sir, he's 90 years old, 90 plus years old now, and also Trichy Shankaran sir. I'm going to play two clippings, short clippings though. Trichy Shankaran sir.
Tadin, tatadin, takadin, tatadin, din, tatadin, takadin, tatadin, tadim, tadim, takadim, tadim, kita takadim, tadim, tadin, genatom, tadim, takadim, tadim, kita takadim, tadim, tadin, genatom, takitatum, tadi, takitatum, tadi, takitatum, tadin, genatom, tadin genato tadin genato ta tadin genato tadin genato tadin genato ta takitatum tadi takitatum tadi ta takitatum tadin genato ta tadin genato tadin genato ta tadin genato tadin genato tadin genato ta takitatum tadi takitatum tadi ta takitatum tadin genato ta tadin genato tadin genato ta tadin genato tadin genato tadin genato ta.
Now let's move on to the interesting aspect of KONNAKKOL, which is specialities of KONNAKKOL. What makes KONNAKKOL really special? Is it just the recitation, just like 2 1 za 2 2 2 za 4 2 3 za 6 tak kita kita tak di kita kita tak di kita kita tak di? Is it that? Is that the speciality? No. I think Balasubramanian Garu and Sudhaji covered well on articulation and voice production. So the first speciality is voice modulation. Let me give you two examples. Ta dim dim na ta ta dim dim na kita taka dim dim na ta ta kita taka di na ta. Scenario 1. Scenario 2. Ta dim dim na ta ta dim dim na kita taka dim dim na kita taka dim kita din na kita taka dim jannu taka ta dim taka ta dim taka 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 dim taka dhadan taka dim jannu taka ta dim. Voice modulation. So the success of KONNAKKOL presentation lies in A, B, C: accuracy, brevity, and clarity. Voice modulation, voice culture, tonal quality, pitch bend, and volume control. So one KONNAKKOL artist must be a good mimicry artist with good listening skills. So the moment you hear the tone of a mridangam, you must be able to replicate. For that, you need to use your larynx, voice box. When the mridangam topi, the left side of the mridangam, the bass tone, when they play gumuki, gum, takata dim, takata dim, dim. So if you replicate that, I'm sure KONNAKKOL recitation will be even more colorful. The next specialty is pronunciation. We have talked about this in the first session itself. Like, correct pronunciation has always had good effect on our body, mind and soul. Let me give you a very simple example. Kita taka terri kita. But most of them, what they say? Girdagadarigidum. Girdagadarigidum. Tadhi girnatom. Some people say tadhin girnatom. That's also fine. Tadhi girnatom. But I've heard most of the Westerners saying dadi gida dun. The effect is lost. And then thalangu. Thalangu. Telang. వినయమునను త్యాగరాజ వినుతుడు వివిధ గతుల ధీతళాంగుమని వెడలిన శ్రీ గణపతిని. Why did Tyagaraja Swami use dhitalangu? He could have used takajanu, takadimi, any other syllable. While we celebrate Bija mantra usage in Dikshitar Kritis, Tyagaraja Swami has also used Bija mantras. According to Akshara Samhita, Tha refers to Tandai, Shiva. Dhi refers to Devi Parvati. Dhi also means Buddhi Shakti. Lam is the Bija mantra of Mooladhara Murti Ganapati. Gu refers to Guru Guha. The moment you say Dhit Talangu, you are putting one namaskaram to entire Shiva family. There are a lot of such unexplored secrets in these syllables, just that we are using it only as a tool to communicate a mathematical progression. The next speciality is speed and clarity. Of course, speed is one criteria which is seen in everything. 1 minute cooking. Like speed is like everywhere, in every aspect of our lives. Of course, even in KONNAKKOL. Ta kitta takka dinna kitta takka tadi kitta dhiku tadi kitta takka ta kitta takka dhi kitta takka dinna kitta takka tadi kitta dhiku tadi kitta takka dinna kitta takka tadi kitta dhiku tadi kitta takka ta kitta takka dhi kitta takka tum kitta takka dinna kitta takka tadi kitta dhiku tadi kitta takka dinna kitta takka tadi kitta dhiku tadi dinna kitta takka tadi kitta dhiku tadi kitta takka tak kitta takka dinna kitta takka dinna rak kitta takka dhik dinna kitta takka dinna dinna kitta takka dinna rak kitta takka dhik kitta takka tum kitta takka dinna kitta takka dinna dinna kitta takka dinna kitta takka. I am exactly reciting 16 syllables per beat, which is 5th speed, Anja Kalam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can try even more faster. At the end of the day, you have to, even though you are reciting it with utmost speed, you must emphasize on the clarity. Every syllable have to be heard. I've seen many of KONNAKKOL artists saying, the speed is, you can see the speed on the face, but you cannot hear it. But the important speciality is that you have to give that amount of clarity. Only then it will be a good experience for the listener. Emphasize on the fact that clarity and modulation are the two main qualities that can differentiate between a good KONNAKKOL recitation and bad KONNAKKOL recitation. The next thing is Karve. Karve is a very important tool for KONNAKKOL artists and of course for musicians as well. I will take a simple Mishra Chapu Muktaya. Taka dina dim, taka dina dim, taka dina dim. Tati girna ton, tati girna ton, tati girna ton, taka tati girna ton, taka tati girna ton, taka tati girna ton, taka diko tati girna, taka diko tati girna ton, taka diko tati girna ton. A traditional composition 777 555 777 999. If I played the same thing on Mridangam, I would do takatari takatadim, obviously I will get an applause for this. But with KONNAKKOL, I can take the same math to a next level. Takadinadim, 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 taga, dontaga, 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 dontaga. It's the same math, but I'm interpreting it using Karves, and then this will really elevate the presentation than just doing some kind of a progression. So, Karves can be used in place of repeating patterns to enhance the recitation. The next important aspect or quality, speciality for KONNAKKOL is that you can try Viloma and Pratiloma, just the way vocalist does. What is Viloma Pratiloma? Just keep the composition constant and change the speed of the thala. I'm sure you all know this composition. Tad dit tam, tad digina tom dit tam, tad digina tom tam, tad digina tom, tad digina tom, tad digina tom ta. A very popular traditional composition. Garisa, garisa ni darisa, garisa ni dasa, garisa ni darisa ni da pasani mapa. Like that. Let me try this in Mishra Jati Jhampe Tala. 10-beat tala, Mishra Laghu, one Anudrita, one Drita. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1, 2. Tad dit tam, tati girnatum dit tam, tati girnatum tam, tati girnatum, tati girnatum, tati girnatum tam. This is the composition. Tad dit tam, tati girnatum dit tam, tati girnatum tam, tati girnatum, tati girnatum, tati girnatum, tad dit tam, tadi girnatum dit tam, tadi girnatum tam. Tadi girnatum tadi girnatum tadi girnatum tadi tam ta din girnatum di tam ta di girnatum tam ta di girnatum tadi girnatum tadi girnatum tadi tam tadi girnatum di tam tadi girnatum tang tadi girnatum tadi girnatum tadi girnatum tadi tango tadi girnatum di tango tadi girnatum tang tadi girnatum tadi di gi na tum ta di gi na tum ta. Like how a vocalist tries these viloma, pratiloma, anuloma, even a Konnakkol artist can explore this. How a vocalist tries avadhana kriya, avadhana, the two hands at the same time, two talas at the same time. Even Konnakkol artists can explore that. Now let me play you a very popular Konnakkol clipping. It was really popular in our 80s and 90s. Na swaramu, ni swaramu, sangamamai, swaranga. This Konnakkol rendition was done by none other than Sangeeta Vidushi R.A. Ramamani Madam from Bengaluru. And then usage of lyrics in between the jatis. Tarri kita kita taka taka tarri kita tom hari kita kita taka taka tarri kita tom taka tom kita taka dhiku tarri kita taka hari om kita taka dhiku tarri kita ta tham kita taka dhina dhiku tarri kita tom shankara kita taka taka tarri kita tom taka dhina kita taka dhiku tarri kita ta hari hara kita taka dhiku tarri kita ta hari kita kita taka taka tarri kita tom hari om kita taka dhiku tarri kita taka shankara kita taka taka tarri kita Hari Hara Kidataka, Dhikutari Kidataka, Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Shankara, Hari Shankara, Hari Shankara, Hari Shankara, Om, Om, Om. Just imagine for common people who don't follow these syllables, no matter how many times I do Dhikutari Kidataka, Takatari Kidataka, it is all gibberish for them. Honestly. But in between, if I say Hari Om, they say, you told my God's name. Thank you. One of my friends came and asked, can you also say Jesus? I said, you can say Jesus, Allah, Waheguru also. We just had our Rama temple opened on Jan 22nd, and there was a lot of compositions where we used Jai Shri Ram as carve in between. Sri Ram ta, Jai Shri Ram ta, Jai Shri Ram. And there's also a Ramataraka mantra, Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Kanda Jati Dhrotala. Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, 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 Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. This can be a Pallavi has only. In fact, we have lot of Sanskrit shlokas where you can explore them in different gatis. Ajam nirvikalpam nirakaramekam tadim takita taka takita taka takita kartakadam niranandaman. Instead of saying dim takita taka takita kartakadam, I can just use this Trishra mudakaratamodakam sada vimukti sadakam kaladharavatam sakam. For Trishra, jata kata hasam brahma brahman nilimpa nirjari vilola vichi vallari virajamana murthani. Mishtagati, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwaraha. Like these kind of usages will really have an impact on the audience and instant connect with them. Dittakadim, dittakadim, takadadim, dinadim, dim, tading, gadakatakadim, 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 takadadim, tadittakadadim, dittakadim, dittakadim, takadadim, takadadim, dinadim, dinadim, dim, dim, tading, gadakatadim, gadakatakadim, gadakatakadim, takadikadim, gadakatakadim, gadakatakadim, tadittakadadim, tadittakadadim, dittakadim, 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 takadadim, 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 dinadim, 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 sa pa sa, tading, gadakatadim, gadakatadim, gadakatakadim, 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 gadakatakadim. To be honest, if you are in the place of an accompanist, you must only use Shadja and Panchama. Unless you have a very good control on swaras, unless you have learned Carnatic vocal, never try another swaras. If they are singing Hindolam and if you say Pa, then you are gone. Ta, Dhi, Tom, Nam, Taka Januta, Dhitom Nam, Taka Dhimi, Taka Januta, Dhitom Nam, Taka Janu, Taka Dhimi, Taka Janu, Tadi Ginato, Tadi Ginato, Tadi Ginato, Sa Pa Maga, Magazani Sa Ni Pa Ma. You can interpret Malari this way. Or Madam sang Jagadananda Karaka. Takita dhim, takita takata janu tata dhim, dhim, tarita dhanata dhim, takita dhim, tajam tataka dhim, tataka takita taka dhim, takita nam, takita dhim, tadim, tajam takadina dhim, takita jagadananda karaka. Instead of saying takita dhim, takita, tataka janu, taka dhim, tadim, takita. That's also a correct way of presenting it. But if you are doing it with swaras, and if you know the swaras exactly, the way you live the concert will be really amazing. Tilla nadardhim tadaradani nadardartum tatari kidataka dhitari kidataka tumtari kidataka namtari kidataka tilla nadardhim. If you know tilanas, if you have heard these tilanas, you can join along with the swara and then make the presentation even more colorful. So there are many such unexplored secrets. What I am saying is just a tip of an iceberg. I'll give you one more thing. Vidwan Shashank, flute maestro, he always does a technique called a dual octave technique, where the one blow has 2 octaves that's been played. You can also do dual KONNAKKOL technique. Takata dimita dimita takata drimitra drimitra katra drimita takata taka. There's no processor here, huh? Tadimitra katra trakatra traka drimitra 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 traka drimitra dim. So there are many such things, and whatever I'm sharing is just a small glimpse of it. And also time does not permit to explore all of these, whether in a presentation or a concert. All of these are like ఊరగాయ మారి యూజ్ చేయాలి, ఊరగాయ భోజనాలు తినకూడదు. So let's come back to some basic questions. Who can learn KONNAKKOL? Anybody can learn KONNAKKOL. Learning KONNAKKOL has no age gender restrictions and it has no boundaries as well. And why should one learn KONNAKKOL? First thing, it's an amazing art form with innumerable possibilities. And then it is our tradition. It is part of Veda Shastram. It is a part of Yoga Shastram. And it's our duty to learn or master these traditional art forms and carry forward for the next generation as well. And for that, you need the right guru, and then you have to learn it the pedagogical way. Don't attend any workshops and learn some 3 core ways and say, okay, I know KONNAKKOL, put it on Instagram and get some 100 likes. No, that's not the correct way. You have to go to a guru, surrender yourself, and then learn it the correct way. Will KONNAKKOL help vocalists and instrumentalists? Of course, yes. It will improve Laya Gnanam. KONNAKKOL enables one to compose, or rather understand, compose and perform complex, simple to complex jatis in any given tala under the sun. For example, you have learnt a korve in one particular raga. This is for vocalists and instrumentalists. You would have learnt, at the beginning level, you would have learnt one muktayam or one tirmana. Garisa, dani garisa, mabadari garisa, garisa, nida, garisa, nida, garisa, nida, na, 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 like that. After 500 times practicing that, when you shift the composition, try the same thing for another kriti, you will be seeing the same thing most of the time. I have seen this problem with many musicians. But if you put it in jati format, tata dim, taka tata dim, taka diko tata dim, ta di gi na tum, 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 ta di gi na tum. You will also understand the exact positions of these syllables, and also you can interpret in any raga that you want. And KONNAKKOL empowers us to communicate any mathematical nuances with utmost precision. That's very important. Most of us, whether vocalists or dancers, we are happy to recite jatis. But if you ask them, can you please explain, they are not there in the scene. It's very important that you learn these syllables or a tradition from the scratch so that you can decipher it the way you want. And most of the dance jatis, I'm sorry, no offense to any dancers or any school, most of the jatis are nothing but a bhelpuri that is happening on stage. Tadit takanakajam, tadikita takatari, tadhanata janatadimi, you take the first half. And then next one, ta di gi na tum. And then ta di gi na tum, takata di gi na tum, takadiko ta di gi na tum. Yes. This 6, 8, 10 has 2000 variations, that's possible. But we still stick to that. And then you try to do something, and then you are left with some 20 aksharas, you give some carve, and then you call it as a jati. And then when you put 10 jatis like this and then you listen to it, everything sounds the same. Before you compose something, you must know what has already been composed. You must do a good study of what jatis are already been there. So before you try out new cuisines, before you try out Szechuan dosa, Chinese dosa, first you must know how to put a dosa. A plain dosa, sada dosa. And then you try out karam dosa, upma dosa, and whatever dosa. You got it. So that's why that's enough. So what are the benefits of learning KONNAKKOL? KONNAKKOL improves command over rhythm. Laya sadhana. If you have this laya sadhana, your music appreciation ability will improve. Rhythm appreciation ability will improve. Just by listening to any popular song, a film song, you'll say, oh, this is a peppy song, it's a tapanguchi song, it's a club song. Instead of saying that, you can say this is in this tala, this nade, this gati. And you can pinpoint the groove as well. You have a language to communicate. And with this rhythmic appreciation ability, mark my words, you go to any corner of the world, you meet any musician, any artist from any genre, and for your luck, they will know KONNAKKOL and you can start a conversation. And then you can understand their music, analyze, assimilate, and then you can compose their music with the help of KONNAKKOL. Like if you know Carnatic raga system, you can understand any tune under the sun. Similarly, if you know KONNAKKOL, you can decipher any rhythmic possibility. And KONNAKKOL acts as a distinct flavor to one's performance. I have seen in Kathak performance where dancer at one point of time comes in front of the stage, she has a mic in front of her, she recites padant, and then there is a sawal jawab happening between the tabla artist and mridangam artist. Why can't a Bharatanatyam artist do that? This has always been my question. Just because you have paid an Natavan artist, you solely dependent on him. Whether you borrow the jati or whether you give him the jati, he will do. I have paid him for the rehearsal also, he will do it. But why can't you explore that? Why can't there be a question answer between the Bharatanatyam dancer and the Mridangam artist? Imagine a vocalist presenting a Carnatic recital, and then the vocalist always has a question answer between the violinist, be it Raga, Neraval or Kalpana Swaras. why can't he or she have a rhythmic conversation with the mridangam artist? Will you not stand out among your contemporaries? Whether you're a drummer or a guitarist, whether imagine you're in a rock show or jazz or whatever it is. When you have your solo, if you pick up the mic and recite just 5 avartanas, you will have the maximum number of applause than any other portion of the concert. Konnakkol is like salt. I've tried Konnakkol with not only with Carnatic music, with Hindustani, Ghazal, Bhavagite, film music, rock, death metal, whatnot. And Konnakkol fits like how. It's not because I'm doing it, it's not about that. The art is so great. If you do it the right way, it fits like how. And beyond this, Konnakkol sharpens our mind. With this sharpening, your creativity will improve. Your mathematical probabilities, progressions, permutation combination, thereby your confidence level will boost. I've seen many musicians who have problem with tala and laya. They're happy to sing in group. Whenever you ask them to sing in solo, they have a problem. Because they're not confident of where the jati is singing, what the math they are singing. They sing muktayas, but they don't know where it starts, where it ends. How to sing it from sama to sama, sama to yedupu, yedupu to yedupu. Because they have not studied the system. It's not that they are not capable. It's just that they have not studied that. And with Konnakkol, all of these problems can be fixed. And the more creative you are, the more confident you will be. The more confident you are, you will develop this kind of what you call that self-confidence, and all your thoughts and emotions could be controlled with this. Konnakkol is a wonderful tool for speech and cognition because it is a part of yoga culture. Uchchara yoga is another name for Konnakkol, given by Abhinava Gupta in 1 BC 1 AD. Abhinava Gupta was one of the Nath Panth yogis where he designed a system called Uchchara Yoga, and he defined exact syllables and the way it has to be recited so that it has a positive effect on our body, mind and soul. Trishram tu Jaganmohanam, Chaturashram Buddhi Vivardhanam, Khandam tu Tamasaharanam, Mishtalayat Manonigraham, Sankirna Vashikarana Shaktihi. If you want to attract people, say Trishnade, the moment you hear that 6/8, you feel like dancing, right? Jaganmohanam, it attracts everyone. Chaturashram Buddhi Vivardhanam, if you practice classical music and dance for quite a number of time, Chaturashragati especially, you will be little more better than other contemporaries who have not learned music. Khandam to Tamasaharanam, if you have to come out of laziness, Khandam, you have to practice. And then Mishralayat Manonigraham, if you have to control your mind, you must practice Mishram. Sankirna Vashikarana Shakti, if you want to control other person's mind, you have to say. No, all married people, please don't try it on your spouses. I have tried it and I have failed miserably. And there is also a sutra. How many times you must practice this to master? Japakoti gunam dhyanam, dhyanam koti gunam layah, layah koti gunam ganam, ganat parataram nahi. It has to be 1 crore into 1 crore into 1 crore times. That's all. And you can master these gatis. Just 1 crore into 1 crore into 1 crore. Math students, please do 10 to the power of how many ever zeros. Konnakkol is a wonderful tradition for our physical, mental well-being. I would like to enhance on the aspect called Vak Shakti, voice culture. We have all heard this since morning. To improve Vak Shakti, we must understand modern science, basically. The breathing, the human anatomy of throat, like vocal cords, larynx, usage of tongue, and then the connection between the brain and voice. You might have zillion ideas, but you must be able to replicate it through your voice. Your mind or your brain might be going at the speed of light, but if your recitation is the speed of sound, it's not going to match. So first thing we have to understand that. But even before modern science, our Sangeeta Shastras have given innumerous examples and references. I'm not going to quote anything. All great speakers have already given that. Gatra Veena is what is been given by Maharshi Narada in his Naradiya Shiksha. The first mention of Sharira versus Sharira concept. And then Nadotpatti, the first chapter by Nishanka Sharangadeva in his Sangeeta Ratnakara book. And the concept of Maunam by Sangeeta Makaranda. So, by Narada of 11th century, in his book Sangeeta, he says that if you are a vocalist, you must rest your voice at least once a week. And then if you practice this for 1 year, your voice will be as good as Indra. Is it possible? I don't know. But I've seen some vocalists who do this Mauna Vratam for 1 mandal, like 48 days kind of. I've seen musicians do that and all, but once a week, I don't know. Taraji and Swamiji spoke really well on articulation and diction, and I really appreciate, really well put. And then, of course, I again want to re-quote Nabhi Hrit Kantha Rasana by Sadguru Tyagaraja. We must understand that nada is produced in all of these: Nabhi, Hridaya, Kantha, Murdhani, Nasika, and Rasana as well. So coming back to the benefits of KONNAKKOL, if you are a vocalist and if you want to improve your musical intelligence, voice production, gamaka rendition and precision, mathematical probabilities, and if you want to have an impactful voice, then you must learn KONNAKKOL. How do you improve your mathematical ability with this KONNAKKOL? Let me give you a simple example. Taka is how many aksharas? 2. Kita taka, 4. Tari kita taka. Taka, kita taka, tari kita taka. Taka tari kita taka. Like 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You understood this? Do you want me to repeat? No. I'll put it in KONNAKKOL version. How many of you don't know 2 tables? Raise your hands. Okay, have you heard this table? 2 ones are taka. 2 twos are kita taka. 2 threes are tari kita taka. So if you add up, it's multiple of 10, right? So I'll put it in Khanda Chapu. 2 ones are taka, 2 twos are kita taka, 2 threes are tari kita taka, 2 fours are taka tari kita taka, 2 fives are kita taka tari kita taka, 2 six are tari kita taka tari kita taka, 2 sevens are taka tari kita taka tari kita taka, 2 eights are kita taka tari kita taka tari kita taka, 2 nines are tari kita taka tari kita taka tari kita taka, 2 tens are taka tari kita taka tari kita taka tari kita taka tha. They say no, ore kalle rendu manga. It's like that. You are also teaching math to the kid, you are also teaching soul kattu. You can also try this in next speed. 2 ones are taka, 2 twos are kita taka, 2 threes are tari kita taka, 2 fours are taka tari kita taka, 2 fives are kita taka tari kita taka, 2 six are tari kita taka, 2 sevens are taka tari kita taka, 2 eights are kita taka tari kita taka, 2 nines are tari kita taka, 2 tens are taka tari kita taka tha, 2 tens are taka tari kita taka tha, the 2 tens are taka tari kita taka tha. To complete the avartana, you should add some more repetitions. How many of you don't know subtraction? You know, right? Let's take syllable 5, tadiginatum. 5 minus 0 equals tadiginatum. 6 minus 1 equals tadiginatum. 7 minus 2 equals tadiginatum. 8 minus 3 equals tadiginatum. 9 minus 4 equals tadiginatum. 10 minus 5 equals tadiginatum tha, tadiginatum tha, tadiginatum tha. Now you do it for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is a simple tool to engage math and also KONNAKKOL with children. And especially with KONNAKKOL, you have lot of laya exercises for musicians. If you want to master tala and laya, you have lot of exercises. For example, ta, I'll take adi tala, ta, ki, ta, ka, di, na, ta digginna tum ta, ki, ta, ka, di, na, ta digginna tum ta, ki, ta, ka, di, na, ta digginna tum ta, ka, di, na, ta digginna tum tha. Simple exercise. Now how do we do it with melody? Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re da pa ma ga ri sa re ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga ri da pa ma ga ri sa re ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga ri da pa ma ga ri sa re ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga da pa ma ga ri sa. This is just one of the 100 exercises that are available. Another math pattern for 64 aksharas. Takita takadhimi 7. Takita takadhimi takita takadhimi takita takadhimi takita takadhimi. Sari ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sari ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 1 3 3 3 3 3 3 1 4 4 4 4 4 4. Now you displace 1 from Shadja to you move it to Rishabha. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. You have 28 combinations available. And then if you want to explore first speed, second speed, third speed, second speed, third speed. For example, ta ka dhi mi 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 ta. Simple exercise in math. Sari sari ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. So you can explore lot of such laya exercises through Konnakkol and then translate to your swaras and then make your tala and laya perfect. And did you know that Konnakkol is a wonderful drug today? Konnakkol is the best medicine for children who are suffering from speech stammering problems, be it Alzheimer's, be it cerebral palsy or various other medical conditions. See, this is what Konnakkol as an art form is giving back to the society. Konnakkol is not just for entertainment alone. Konnakkol is beyond entertainment because Konnakkol educates us, Konnakkol elevates us, Konnakkol enlightens us, Konnakkol empowers us, and Konnakkol enlivens our body, mind and soul. It is not just an art form. Konnakkol is a way of life. During those times, there were no microphones. Hardly vocalists could get one microphone. Mridangist, they never had a microphone. Obviously, in full bench concerts, Konnakkol was along with Mridangam, Kanjira, Ghatam, Morching, etc. Dholki also. But at that point of time, the artist's only intention was to reach to the audience at the last. Maybe at that point of time, his recitation might have been little louder with much more volume. At that point of time, it might have been a sort of hindrance to the main vocalist. But these days, how technology has evolved, even vocalists have evolved, so the Konnakkol art has also evolved. You can use your sahaja dhwani, your natural tone and voice, and replicate any instrument of your choice, be it mridangam, kanjira, ghatam, and then mark my words, it will really enhance. Like there's always been a debate between why audience prefer vocal music versus instrumental music. No matter, for a common man, you play raga, neraval, whatever, for him everything is the same, unless the popular tunes. But when you sing, you say Rama, Krishna, Govinda in your own language. And the lyric plays an integral part and people always recognize the song. So the preference is always for vocal. Similarly, when you sit for a Tani Avartanam, no matter how much they play, what intricate maths they play, common audience, including even musicians, can't understand. But if you have a vocalized version of the same thing, that Nada Anubhava, that enriching experience would be in multiple folds, is what I would like to say. History of Konnakkol is also very interesting. I'll just run you to that timeline. During the time of Rig Veda, Konnakkol was there for a specific reason. Like how Vedas were there for only a specific section of people, But Vedas are not only for Brahmins at that point of time. Vedas means knowledge, it was for everyone. So Rishis, what they did was they created a concept called as Tatahkaram. They used tat and then added a lot of syllables and consonants and made a concept where they put the entire effect of Vedas, the entire strength of Vedas into it, Tatahkaram. And then this Tatahkaram was taken by Abhinava Gupta in 1 BC 1 AD, and he developed Uchchara Yoga, and where he defined what syllables have to be used in what format and how, so that you have that effect on your body, mind and soul. And then this Uchchara Yoga was explored by all of great saints like Bharata Muni, Matanga Muni, Narada Muni in Sangeeta Shastra. Bharata Muni gave a technical name for Konnakkol as Vakkarana. Tatra Shodashaksharamiti Yaduktam Tadru Vyakhyasamaha Ka Kha Ga Gha Ta Tha Dana Yara Laha Iti Ka Kha Ga Gha Ta Tha Dana Tatha Dana Yara Laha Iti Shodashaksharani Niyatam Pushkara Vadhye Vakkaranaihi Samvidheyani. He said these are the 16 syllables which you have to recite vocally first and then translate it to Pushkara Vadhya, percussion instruments. And then throughout our history, this art form was represented under different names, Hastapatha. In Mridangam, we have Taddittonam as Balapata. For Konnakkol, Taddittonam is not the Balapata. For us, the Balapata is Vanagina Ginanagi Dhuguta Dhagita Daton, Gitagidha, the Kitatana, Kirtakita Tongi Tongi, Iti Sadyo Jatot Bhavaha. These are the syllables that have come out of Sadyo Jata. And there are similar set of syllables from other 4 faces of Lord Shiva. Pallava dynasty king Mahendra Varma was considered as one of the greatest Konnakkol exponents. Among the titles given to him, Tata Danda was one of the most prominent titles. And you can find this on Kudumiyan Malay inscriptions. Tata Danda is prowess in Tatahkaram and Konnakkol. After that, the pinnacle point of Konnakkol happens in 13th century, where Avatara Purusha Arunagirinathar reinstates Konnakkol with not 1 but 3 traditions of Konnakkol. Taguta taguta dakatan that tiguta tiguti dakaton that tadududu daga dingut iyal talam ipdi talam sarano. This is how you have to recite the tala, which is not influenced by any other percussion instrument. Taku 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 gutam tam taku taku guti 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 tindi guti gutago tagada ganacha guta tandan ritta guta tataguti do tana 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 tam dam dana tana dum 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 tararara riri yen ren ridakkeyum udukkeyum miyavum. The sounds of idakka, udukka and mirav is the sound. It's not takadimi takajuno on all instruments. Arunagirinathar defined syllables exclusively for, defined syllables particularly for each and every percussion instrument. The third tradition is composing a rhythmic piece which also conveys a profound meaning in one particular language. I'll tell you a small story. There was a great scholar by name Villi Putturar. He was a great scholar who had much more control on language, music and composition. But he was really arrogant. So arrogant that he used to go to King's Court, he used to challenge them, and then for scholars who could not answer them, he used to tear their ears apart. Such an arrogant scholar was there. So he comes to Tiruvannamalai, and the entire scholars or who were there in the King's Court, they elope. So they just go. And then king will send a word through his minister, say that you get one scholar. We'll have to make sure that this fellow is defeated. And he says, sir, there is one scholar, but I don't know whether he'll agree to compete. He says, Arunagirinathar, he stays in Malay. So please call him. So with king's request, Arunagirinathar comes, and imagine there is a boxing kind of an environment, arena. In the center of the stage, there is Arunagirinathar and Villi Putturar. And then Villi Putturar says, oh, you are Arunagirinathar? You know the rules, right? If you don't answer me, I will tear your ears apart. And Arunagirinathar will humbly say, Tangal Totital, what if you lose? He said, I don't know defeat. I said, see, if it is competition, it has to be equal. You win, you take the prize. I win, I take the prize. You lose, you tear your ears. I lose, I will tear my ears. I said, okay, fine. So there is a competition between Arunagirinathar and Villi Putturar. Arunagirinathar says a verse for which Villi Putturar conveys a meaning. And Villi Putturar recites something for which Arunagirinathar will convey a meaning. And this will go for 53 rounds. Imagine a tennis match like that, 52 rounds. And in the 54th one, he says, and Villi Putturar will say, boss, you don't fool around with me. These rhythmic syllables have no meaning. If you want to cancel the match, we'll cancel. But don't இப்படி அவமானப்படுத்தாதே சபாய். He says, who said? திதத் தத் தத் அப்படி ஒரு கால பிரமாணத்தில் in this jati of திதத் தத் தத் தாதை சிவன் தீதி நாட்டியம் ஆடினான் with tea, fire in hand, atti, like the ocean of milk. So he gives artham and tatparya for the entire composition, and then he says that a rhythmic composition could also have a wonderful, profound meaning in Tamil language. After listening to this, Villi Putrar gets enlightened. He surrenders to Arunagirinatha. He says, boss, you defeated me. I'll go to the jungle. I'll tear my ears. I will not show my face. I will not trouble anymore. He says, Mr. Villi Putra, you're a great scholar. You should use your knowledge for the betterment of people. Don't trouble them. Why don't you translate Mahabharatam to Tamil language? So that's why Villi Bharatam comes to it. This is not a fantasy story or some imaginative story. This is a prominent historical incident. If you watch Arunagirinatha's movie in Tamil, there are some 3 versions of movies. In every movie, or if you read Wikipedia, you will get this instance, but nowhere they mention this tradition as Konnakkol. And then after Arunagirinatha, there were many Oduvars, appointed priests who were practicing these Tirupugal. And then whenever this British invasion, the Muslim invasion happened, they entered temples in search of wealth. And then these Oduvars, Pavam, they did not have AK-47 with them to retaliate. They were just chanting mantras, reciting this. So their heads were chopped off. And then they destroyed many arts and artists. And British, in the name of English, they sidelined Sanskritam, and then they devastated Gurukula Paddhati and many things. And then in the name of civilization, globalization and urbanization, we have killed ourselves. We have killed many art forms. ఏది నేర్చుకుంటే ప్రొఫెషన్ నడుస్తుంది. What Bharatanatyam forefront, you can be in the front. Why you learn marching? Because you have to sit in the back. You learn mridangam, you can be in the front. If you learn guitar, it's very cool to have. Why you learn electronic production, sit at the home? So we ourselves have killed many art forms and traditions. It's very important that there are many such art forms, not only Konnakkol. We have our Shastras talk about 150 varieties of Veena. We hardly know 3 right now, Saraswati Veena, Rudra Veena or Chitra Veena, whatever. We have more than 200 versions of percussion instruments, Pambai, Purigai, many things. Hardly we know, or we see Mridangam, Kanjara, Ghatam. These days there is no Sahapakwadim, there is only Mridangam. Yes, of course, there is Kahun. You sit on it and you play. There are no latest inventions. But we have lost many traditions in this onslaught or in this time. So it's very important for us to revive these for the next generation. And then Konnakkol being one of the most important art forms, which is not only the rhythm of the past, but it's also a percussion of the future. And then if you are a musician, if you are a dancer, if you are a composer, if you are an audio engineer, if you are a theatre personality, and if you are just a common man or children or a student, you must learn Konnakkol. Not only as a performing art, but it gives you many things than what we deserve and what we ask. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
SwayamPrabha. Digital India. Educated India.